Now I'm very happy to introduce 3 keynote speakers to you, and we'll have a panel with them afterwards to discuss some major issues together with you. And I'm now taking the idea of making a big contribution to sustainability, because the man I'm now introducing has done exactly that. He helped the UN shaping the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And at that moment, I'm very happy to thank DNV GL for supporting and making this conference happening. I'm now very happy to hand over the microphone to Luca Crisciotti. And if I'm talking about the foundation he's standing for, in their foundation of the business, the idea of protection of life and environment has already been in their credo since 1864. So that's a very long time, but he's not that old. So very happy to have you on stage, very lively today with this long time mission. Luca.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy that I don't look like a 150-year-old man, so I hope so. So I work for DNVGL. DNVGL is a Norwegian foundation, and we do provide quality assurance and risk management services. The first time that I've tried to explain to my kids what was, quality assurance and risk management, I have to say that I struggled quite a lot. So I tried to use the same words I used that time to explain what we are doing. We are certifying and assessing products or processes or people competence against the quality, environmental, safety, and social international standards. So basically, we are sending, let's say, thousands of people every day to check if a product is in line with an international standard or if a company is following an international standard. That's the way it is, and it has been, since 1864. As it has been said, we have been helping the United Nations to shape the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And today we have collaborations with several United Nations agencies, such as UNIDO, such as the UN development programs. We are taking also the lead in a very recent initiative that the United Nations have taken to boost the goal number 14 about the ocean. So the Norwegian government is taking the lead to make sure that countries are taking actions to improve the situation with the oceans worldwide, and we are helping, of course, the Norwegian government to make this happening. So as I said, we have thousands of people that every day are leaving our 300 offices in 100 countries in the world to assess every kind of businesses, from a very small family-owned farm in Brazil to a big automotive giant here in Germany. Being a foundation, we don't have shareholder, and we are reinvesting all the profit that we make through our activities in our company. And this is the case for the SDG lens, the Sustainable Development Goal lens. This is a tool that is available free to everyone, which is allowing a company to benchmark themselves against, let's say, a peer performance with, let's say, focus on a specific SDG goal. This is available everyone, and this is an idea that has been generated by our, let's say, brightest and youngest talents that usually we gather all together once per year in Oslo, where our head office is. So you see a picture of not old people like me, but very young people like you that have been working really to shape this tool. So for years, we have been doing the same job for us. And since this conference is also about innovation, it's not only sustainability. So for years, the real innovation for us was represented just by a new standard, nothing more than that. But in the recent years, we have been thinking on how to deliver what we do in a completely different way. And today I have just 2 examples. There's really many, plenty of it. So maybe in the sessions later today and tomorrow, you can ask to my colleagues to get a little bit more, let's say, examples. But I thought that these 2 could be really interesting for you. And of course, they are linked to Sustainable Development Goals as well. The first one is about one hospital. In the US, we are one of the few companies that are working on behalf of the American health authorities to check if an hospital is working well, is following best practices. So we are working with this hospital, which is called Nicholas Children's Hospital. It's a pediatric hospital. They have been investing heavily in digitalizing everything we are doing. So normally what is happening is that some of our doctors and nurses are going there to check if they are following some standards. But in this case, basically, we are getting also a lot of information from their, let's say, machines that are connected directly with our service. And also, doctors and nurses are, in a way, providing information in a digital way, I mean, through everything they're doing. So if a doctor is washing their hands, his or her hands, I mean, this information comes digitally to our service. So we have been able to control remotely, basically, everything they are doing. All the information are placed on a blockchain, so those data cannot be changed. And basically, if everything goes, let's say, within a range, it means that the company is working well. If not, of course, we are going there immediately to check what is not working. Another example is with BYD. BYD is a leading provider, is a leading car manufacturing company, probably is one of the largest producing electric cars. I know that here we are in Germany, and there's a lot of, let's say, competition, but I mean, this Chinese company is really one of the probably biggest in the world when it comes to electric cars. One day, more than 1 year ago, we sat together and we said, you know, what can we do to incentivize people to drive electric cars? Of course, whoever is buying an electric car today, you know, he's doing not only for, let's say, probably saving some money, but because would like to contribute also to save CO2 emissions. And then we said, you know, what else can we do? Because buying a car, you know, it's a one-time action. You know, what can we do to make sure that everyone can do it every day? So we developed together an app today. When you get into the car, you input your ID and password. You are connected real time to a server, and depending on your driving behavior, you get some rewards. Which means that the more, let's say, gently you drive the car, the more CO2 emissions equivalent you are saving, the more tokens you are getting. What can you do with these tokens? I mean, these tokens then can be spent within an ecosystem that has been created and shared with companies like BYD that are using for example, renewable energy to produce their goods. So in this ecosystem, there's also food companies that are using renewable energy to produce their goods. And the token that you are getting driving the car in a certain way can be spent to buy, you know, a food product, or vice versa, for example. So you can use the token that you are getting by that food product to recharge your car. So those are initiatives that are, let's say, already real. We are not talking about just ideas, but I mean something that is happening right now. And it's a combination of all the knowledge we have around sustainability and also all the new digital transformation things. So also in this case, all the information that are produced by your, let's say, driving behavior are stored in a place, you know, on a blockchain, and then they are checked by us, of course, translated in CO2 equivalent, let's say, emission, and then thanks to smart contracts, then these are, let's say, producing tokens that are going straight to a person. So this is just to say that sustainability is not something that, you know, you have to imagine as something, let's say, traditional, but is also very, very innovative. And combined with the digital expertise is something that can, let's say, involve a lot of people in their entire life. I would like to end my speech just, let's say, giving you the right recipe that, you know, you can use in, let's say, everything you are going to do, I mean, in your projects. I do think that the digital dimension is really extremely important and can help you shaping your ideas. But everything, let's say, every project is different from others. So every digital technology has to be used in the right way. I mean, say, put blockchain at the very center of everything, since I think that this is really a disruptive technology, but then big data, IoT, product tagging, I mean, all these technologies combined together with a different weight can make, of course, your project, I mean, succeeding. Thank you very much.